and welcome back to the channel. This is different. Oh wow, I totally just lost my concentration. But welcome everyone back to the channel. I am Zach, your host here on the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel. Let me adjust my beanie. So I'm doing a different video today, clearly. This is my top countdowns. Basically, I can rank anything, count down anything. Doesn't have to be wrestling related, and this won't be like a regular series. This will just be whenever I find something I feel like it's decent enough to talk about. But I'm starting today, since it's Halloween season, and Halloween is this weekend. I'm starting with A Nightmare on Elm Street. I am ranking Nightmare on Elm Street from worst, in my opinion, to the best, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. There's no real criteria. It's just basically what I like and what I don't like. And I'll start by saying this. I don't hate any of the movies. I really don't. I actually like all of them. So this, for me, like, for number 8 to be here, to me, that's not me saying it's a bad movie. Okay, it probably is a bad movie. But I don't hate it, is basically what I'm saying. So, but yeah, this is my top countdowns. So, yeah, I guess we'll get started. Hope everyone likes the look here. This, oh man, I love this background. All of this down here, yeah, I like all that. So let's go ahead. Now, there's going to be 8 of them. I know there's 9 movies with Freddy in them, but I am not counting Freddy versus Jason. I know a lot of people count that stuff with the Nightmare series. I just simply am not counting Freddy versus Jason. Just not doing it. So, hate me if you want. It's all good. Let's start though. Let's start with the 8th. The 8th pick. Let me see. Where am I at here? Nope, that's not it. That's not what I wanted. All right. Oh, don't mind that, everyone. So here it is. Here's number 8. Holy crap. Look, I haven't done this one before. But number 8 is A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Freddy's Revenge. This obviously, to me, is the weakest of the series. I'll reiterate that I don't hate any of the movies. None of the movies. I genuinely love all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But this one is the weakest to me because, one, our protagonist in this movie is a bit of a whiny little baby. He's constantly whining and just, he's not exactly the protagonist that you want. Okay? But then you get the other one, the lady. I know, my brain's completely went dead. I should know these names. But if you look at the girl, she's much more strong. So it was this movie that you miss a Nancy, you miss an Alice, or you miss a Kristen. And that's the thing. That's another reason this one's the least on my list, because I can't remember character names. I remember Grady. That's about it. And BDSM. It's kind of interesting. That's in this movie. And this movie really was kind of like pointed out to be like a movie for the LGBTQ movie or movement before it really was a movement. This does have very heavy it has the tones with people who are gay. That stuff is there. I don't know. My brain's just not there. I don't know. I wasn't ready for this, I suppose. I don't know. But I'm going to move on. So yeah, that would be probably my least favorite of the movies, was Freddy vs. Jason 2. It's not a bad movie. Just weak characters, weak story, and it breaking the rules of what was set up in the first movie kind of bother me. But it still is. It's still a decent movie, and it's still enjoyable. all on its own. So let's go to the 7th movie. This one was... I like Freddy's Dead. Okay? It's not the worst of these movies, in my opinion. It did worse box office-wise. That's for sure. But Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. What made me dislike this movie to the point that I would drop it all the way down to here? Well, it's simple. It is. It's actually really simple. The fact that... Okay, well, let me start with what I like. The positives, okay? I think seeing... Yeah, you know, there's really not a lot of them. I like the opening. I like the quote. The quote that they have at the beginning of the movie. Well, 2 quotes. They do one by... oh, shit. Like, my brain is complete. I am so fucking screwed right now. But there's 2 quotes at the beginning of the movie. Edgar Allan Poe does one. And the other one is Freddy Krueger, which is Welcome to Primetime, Bitch. I like both of them. And I like the song that starts the movie. After that, I pretty much don't think I really like too much about the movie. Again, it's entertaining, but Freddy all of a sudden having a daughter kind of is like... I don't know. I don't think it was needed. If they were going to explain Freddy's background, perhaps that's something that could have been explained sooner rather than the 6th and possibly final movie. The title's cool. I like the title. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. I like that. Except then they came out with another one just a few years later. So, good on them. Let's just keep moving on, because I am totally screwing up right now. Please forgive me, and please like this video and subscribe. I'm just having an off afternoon, I promise. Alright, now this one, I know a lot of people probably thought this should be the bottom of my list. But I actually do like this movie. The 2010 version of A Nightmare on Elm Street. If you watched the podcast from last night, you would know that I like this. Now, Jake and Seth both think that I should no longer be their friend because the fact that I like this. But I thought it was a good movie. It's not perfect. But I like the bait and switch. You think that... I think her name's Cassie. You think Cassie is going to be the lead. But then it switches to where it is Nancy. And then you get, you get to hear more about Freddy's backstory from the jump. Now, I don't like the fact that they made him like a straight-up pedophile. Which, I guess, does harken back to what was Wes Craven's initial idea to make Freddy a pedophile, but they cut it out simply because they didn't think people would go see the movie. But it's still, to me, it's still a good movie. It does run a little long, but, and it is, I don't know, it runs a little long. Some of the tropes are a little too much. I do like, though, how it does harken back to certain scenes, like the bathtub scene. She does sing a line that's actually from Freddy vs. Jason. She says, welcome to my world, bitch, or something like that. It does have good things, and it does have good themes. It is a decent movie, I think. I don't know. I haven't watched the movie in a while, and actually, maybe I should watch it tonight. I don't know. I enjoy the movie, actually, quite a bit. So, but it's not a bad movie. It's just in that place to me because, shit, why not? Why not? It's a decent movie. Where am I at? Yes. And moving on to number 5. This is where I start getting to the ones that I actually really, really do enjoy a lot. A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. This, of course, is the second movie with Alice and Dan, and then their new cast of friends, who I actually would say the friends in this one are better than Alice's friends in the 4th movie, with the exception of maybe her brother. I liked her brother actually a lot. This one, it's where you can start seeing the noticeable issues with the movie. Freddy's being much more comical in this one. Freddy is actually in it a lot less than he was in the previous couple of films, like a lot less. But this one's very much focused on the vagina. This is like a vagina based movie. But it's good. It was wrote, produced, filmed, everything in less than a year. And it did good in the box office. I enjoyed it, man. I liked seeing Alice's story continue. Now, yes, issues. Alice not being able to just shut up and be okay with the fact that people are going to know that she sounds crazy when she talks about Freddy, but she can't help herself. It's like, hey, you've been through this once. You should already be a vet. You should know. I don't need to talk to the adults about Freddy. I got to figure this shit out on my own. But then she's talking about, we got to stop him, Freddy. Alice acts a little stupid at times. Maybe it's the depression because Dan died. Spoilers. But I like it. I like the fact that they bring her mom in, and her mom is the key to locking him back up again. It's good. It's a decent story. You get to see little ugly baby Freddy, which will forever scar your brain once you see it. But it is. It's an interesting story. It's good to see Alice. Alice gets to be the only final girl to survive the movies, not once, but twice. She's the only one to have done it. The actual character of Alice. Remember that. Next up, number 4. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Now this was, I think, where he kind of got the idea for what he wanted to do with Scream. This is a very meta movie. It's a very, self-aware movie. Lots of fourth wall breaking. It's seeing Fred Krueger in a different light. Now, I remember being maybe 11 or 12, 13 years old max, and going to the little mini mart in the town that I grew up in, and I'd get money for my birthday. And I somehow would convince one of my relatives to go to this store and rent this movie for me. I got my Uncle Randy to do it once. He's like, are you even allowed to watch this? Of course I am. And he'd later find out that I lied and he'd beat my ass. But it's cool. It's whatever. But I remember going and watching this with friends. And oh my God, I loved watching these movies growing up. And it was just always fun. It was always a good time. And then this movie was so much darker. And you weren't dealing with Nancy. You were dealing with Heather Langenkamp, the actual person. And you got Robert Englund. And just to see what it would be like if Freddy was penetrating our world, and to see Wes having these dreams, and then these dreams were coming true, and to know that Freddy wasn't Freddy, but he was a demon trying to be Freddy. It was all interesting. There's very, very few issues I have. I think Wes Craven being in it, and some of the concept is like, meh, he's dreaming it up. Like, why couldn't we see Freddy coming after him too? Which I think initially was supposed to be a part of it, but I think it was supposed to be like driving across country trying to avoid Freddy as Freddy was coming after all of them. Something like that. But it was enjoyable. Like, I loved the movie, and I think the acting was great. I think the way it was shot was great. Them going into the lair that was like the boiler room for Freddy. It was like going into Dante's Inferno, it was inspired by the Seventh Circle of Hell. It had quite a few inspirations in this movie. It was so good. So good. Let's move on. Number 3, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I know a lot of people probably are wondering why this is not my top one. I really do like this movie, but it's not the best for me. It's not my personal favorite. It's definitely what started the slasher genre in the 80s and really got it going again. It gave us such an interesting character with Fred Krueger, and it set up everything that would come after it. But I just I appreciate it for what it was, and for what Wes Craven was able to do, for the fact that he was able to get Robert Englund and make this iconic role. It was amazing. I loved it, but again, it was just, it's not the best to me. But it's not to discount how well it was and how scary it was. It was the movie. It literally launched my love for frightening movies, for horror films. I grew up on Elm Street growing up. So, yeah, of course, I love this movie. It was my jam, man. It was definitely my jam. Let's keep going with number 2. I know, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. The Dream Master is my second. Yes, it eked out the original. You get the best of both worlds. You finally get to meet Alice, right? You get to meet Alice. You get to see what she's like, right? You get to see her post Dream Warriors. You get to then be introduced to Alice. You see Kristen, you see Alice. I probably said Alice, but you get to meet Kristen. You get to see Kincaid and Joey and see where they are. And then you meet, Dan and Alice's brother. I think her friends were kind of weak. The girl with the gem, kind of a bit of annoying. The geek girl was good, but her death was kind of weak. So that'd probably be my gripes with the movie, but it was actually really well done. The story of Freddy's like, I've killed the last of the Elm Street kids. Now I need another person so I can start getting to other kids. It's a good story. The first 3 films, I wish they would have done, after thinking about it, you had the first 3 movies, which was 1, 2, and 3. Freddy runs through the Elm Street kids, right? Going into 4, and then 4 sets up for the new kids. What if you did 2 sets of trilogies in this movie? 1 through 6. Elm Street kids, and then the rest of the kids in Springwood, which I guess it kind of does, sort of with 6, but not exactly, right? But it was enjoyable. I thought this was a brilliantly done movie. It's not an Oscar movie, obviously, but for a horror movie and a 4th movie in a series of movies, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. One of my favorite scenes actually is when Alice is trying to go to her friend who's working out. And her and Dan are just like stuck in this time loop, and they keep, in their dream, and they keep coming back to the truck. And so they're never able to get to her until after the fact that she's been turned into a roach, which is disgusting and still makes me feel sick to this day. All right, so what is my number 1? Well, that's obvious. If you're keeping track, you already know what my number 1 is. But it is Dream Warriors. Ain't gonna dream no more. I ain't gonna sing. I will stop. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I did that to your ears. Dream Warriors is my shit. It has been my shit since I was a kid. I absolutely fucking love this movie. I will watch this movie over and over again. I have videos somewhere of my daughter watching this movie with me, and she is zoned into it. It was so good. Seeing all these kids in this mental hospital come together. It has the introduction of that sleeping medicine that again gets used, Hypnosil. The introduction of Hypnosil that you get to see later on in actually Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah, I know, I'm not counting it, but it's an honorable mention, okay? An honorable mention is Freddy vs. Jason. But you get that. You see Nancy survived. You didn't know she survived. You just knew she had a diary, and you listened to her diary in the second one. So you see her in the third one. Nancy's still alive, but her dad's now a drunk, and he's some security officer because he apparently lost his job. You see where she is. And then you see where Kristen and Kincaid and Joey and all the other kids in that home. You see all of them, and you get to see where they are. You get to see them with their dream powers. I am the Wizard Master. You get to see her. I'm both beautiful and bad. Like, it's so many there's so many quotes in this movie. It's a meme-filled movie. And you get to see the disgusting penis Freddy, all right? the Freddy that looks like a penis when you look at him from a certain point of view. You get that. It's got so much. Love this movie. Love this movie. Actually, I reviewed that a couple years ago as part of my Halloween Countdown series, so you guys can check that out too. That is available on the channel. But yeah, man, I love these movies in general. The Nightmare on Elm Street movies to me are just fantastic. Sure, they're cheesy. Sure that they, lose quality over time, but they're still entertaining to me. I just loved watching them. I really honestly did. So, I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. You guys can tell me I just rambled on like a fool and didn't make no sense. And that's fine. But I just love these movies. And I'm tired. I'm not going to lie. I'm tired. So, but that's it. That's me ranking my movies. I could probably do better, and maybe I will again another time. But this is my first time doing this countdown that didn't involve anything with wrestling. Yay. So, y'all let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you already aren't. Hit that notification bell so you can get updates on all our videos as they come. Remember, check in the rest of this week. We are on the final push to Halloween. Got Walking Dead on Thursday. We got another Supernatural review this week. We got the final Halloween Countdown series. We got Rob Zombie's Halloween review. That's up this week. And the Halloween special, which I'm still working on, that will be up Saturday at 6 p.m. That is going to be on the channel live at 6 p.m. Check it out. You guys have a great night. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and most of all, remember, join the nation. Y'all have a great night.